Welcome back to the Warbird Mistress. Today is Friday the 1st of May, 1942, and this is A Walk Through the War. Beginning with the 1st Air Force in the American Theater of Operations Zone of Interior, a rotation of detachments begins this month as the 433rd Bombardment Squadron Medium of the 45th Bombardment Group Medium, formerly known as the 92nd Recon Squadron, sends detachments to Miami Army Airfield and Naval Auxiliary Air Station Boca Chica on Key West in Florida, and to New Orleans Army Air Base in Louisiana. And flying A-29s and B-34 Lexingtons, this deployment pattern will keep until September. Now I know the B-34 Lexington may not ring a familiar bell, but don't go thinking you've missed out on some obscure Army bomber your whole life. The B-34 Lexington is the Army designation of the Lockheed Ventura, specifically the Ventura Mark II, many of which have been diverted from an RAF order, and others specifically ordered by the Army. Mitchell Field is today where Cradle of Aviation Museum is, and the Nassau Coliseum of Islanders infamy. Although in 1942 there were no Islanders, so everyone was free to support Montreal and their new rookie Maurice Le Rocket Richard. Not that I'm biased. Go Habs go. But back in 1942, when there was a more important fight to wage than the one against the Maple Leafs, we can turn to the 3rd Air Force with the 106th Observation Squadron Medium 66th Observation Group, as they prepare to begin ASW patrols this month from Savannah Army Air Base, Georgia, in what is indeed an odd mix for an observation squadron on anti-sub duties. The 106th flies A-20 Havocs, P-39 Airacobras, and P-40 Warhawks, alongside their 1936 vintage O-46s. Like the Bolo, the O-46 is outdated. Based on the observation needs of a relatively static war during the Louisiana and Carolina maneuvers, the flaws in the Army's observation aircraft were clearly demonstrated, especially in the cumbersome, slow Douglas design. However, with the country at war on both coasts, she gets a new lease on life while searching for enemy subs. Now going to the 4th Air Force, the 17th Observation Squadron Light of the 71st Observation Group is also assigned to begin flying ASW patrols. They are based out of Salinas Army Air Base with the usual light mix of L-1s, O-46s, O-47s, and O-52. And you'll notice I said L-1s. Up until now, I've been calling the Stinson Vigilant the O-49. The switch to the liaison designation was done in April, so this month marks the first time that we're going to start seeing the L-1 in the Army diaries, as it is the first bird to carry the new designation. Still with the 4th Air Force, we look at the 116th Observation Squadron Medium of the 70th Observation Group, as a detachment operating from Yakima County Airport returns to base at Gray Field, Fort Lewis. And last but not least, we turn to the 10th Air Force responsible for the CBI Theater, as Brigadier General Elmer E. Adler takes command of 10 Air Service Command, activated today after operating unofficially as an organic part of the 10th Air Force since February in accordance with the Army Air Force's framework. And with that, we move ahead to Saturday the 2nd of May, 1942. Another commanding officer is assigned to his post when Major General Carl Spaatz is designated commander of the 8th Air Force. I think we've heard of him. And down in the sunny tropic scenes of the Caribbean with the 6th Air Force, a detachment of P-39 Airacobras returns to Patilla Point in Panama from their operations out of La Jolla. From there we go across the globe and join the 5th Air Force's 8th Photographic Squadron, assigned to Allied Air Forces Command, as they transfer with their F-4 Lightnings from Brisbane to Townsville. And with nothing in the diaries for the 3rd, we finish up with one more step in our walk as we turn to Monday, the 4th of May, 1942. Beginning in the American Theater of Operations, the 6th Air Force has an interesting deployment today, as the 3rd Heavy Bomb Squadron's 6th Heavy Bomb Group transfers from Rio Hato, Panama, to the Galapagos. There they add their B-18 Bolos and LB-30 Liberators to the already diverse collection of flying features filling flowery, famous, far-flung fields on the renowned Ecuadorian archipelago. Farther north, in a less alliteratively adaptable adventure, Astoria airmen avidly admire arriving A-29s and B-18, as the Zone of the Interior 2nd Air Force's 41st Medium Bomb Group's 406th Medium Bomb Squadron sees their detachment of submarine spying scouts return from Payne Field in Everett, Washington for their Oregon home. And across the globe, or on the other side of the plate if you're a flat earther, we join the 10th Air Force and the CBI as the headquarters unit of the 35th Pursuit Group Interceptor is transferred with neither personnel nor equipment from New Delhi to Sydney. I suppose this transfer on paper is because it helps to have your headquarters location to be officially located in at least the same continent as the people who staff it. Frankly, I think it's merely an update on paper so as to match the reality of the situation, since the 35th Interceptor Group does appear neither to have been under 10th Air Force Command, nor to have had units operational in the subcontinent, as all of the units had been evacuated to Australia following the fall of the Philippines. Another transfer on paper happens today as we change over to the Southwest Pacific area in the 5th Air Force. This time it is the headquarters of the 27th Bombardment Group Light and the constituent 16th, 17th, and 91st Light Bomb Squadrons who are transferred, again without personnel or equipment, from Bachelor Field in Charters Towers, Australia, to Hunter Field, Savannah, Georgia, as they are to be remanned with fresh personnel and equipped with new mounts as to prepare for the coming fight in the Mediterranean. In other news with the 5th Air Force, the first strike against the Japanese base at Rabaul is made as B-26s bomb Banakana'u airfield. A second strike is made at the same time by P-39s flying out of Port Moresby and B-17s from Australia, as they strike again at the Japanese airfield at Lae, as the Allies attempt to dislodge the Japanese air assets facing them in the fight for New Guinea, and by extension, for Australia. A fight that is about to hit a boiling pitch as U.S. Navy carrier planes strike at Tulagi in the Solomons. Tulagi had been invaded and captured yesterday as part of Operation MO, the invasion of Port Moresby as one stage of a strategy to capture New Guinea and isolate Australia and New Zealand. Today's strikes by the Yorktown cost the Japanese a destroyer, 3 minesweepers, 2 mine layers, and a half-dozen aircraft, while a destroyer and merchant transport are heavily damaged. However, the Japanese now know that a carrier is nearby. In the next few days, the fate of the territory of New Guinea will be decided on the waves in what will become the Battle of the Coral Sea. But that's for another day as we finish this walk through the war. So thank you for your patience with getting these videos out. Fighting a cold right now, I don't know if you could hear that, but definitely working hard to put out new material. A few full-length videos are back on track for the near future, so be sure to subscribe if you aren't, hit the bell for all notifications, and consider joining the YouTube channel by clicking join down there, or supporting the channel through Patreon, or even getting yourself some merch from the store. Everything gets put right into the channel, of course. So until next time, this is Claire, and I am the Warbird Mistress. Take care.